Hi-ho, everybody. We're still dealing with the void left by our beloved Space Ace. I've set up a little slideshow, and I actually had the presence of mind while I was in Cadillac to take a lot of pictures. I'm not normally a phone brandisher kind of guy, but I figured for this, it was a momentous occasion, and it's for all the people that enjoy watching. Hey man,
nice Kiss shirt. It
So-
was the 50th anniversary of Kiss coming to Cadillac, Michigan.
So you got Fido, you got Powie.
And that's what you get.
And that's what you get. The new shirt today, the new shirt du jour, is this little Cadillac number. An homage to Destroyer.
I'm just wearing the same old farewell shirt from before, which everybody loves and knows.
If you're feeling charitable this holiday season, hook Powie up with another Kiss shirt. So I can, the next time I see him for the next episode, I can say, hey man, nice Kiss shirt.
Where did you get that shirt?
So, couple of things that I don't know that they made it to the slideshow. If we don't see him in the slideshow, I'll show him in the real life. Boy, oh boy, friends, is this ever some real life shit. This episode is really hard to put together, but I'm going to try to inject some of the missing slides into this section here. Kind of take you through it chronologically, starting with Thursday, the 9th of October. Here's all I could get at first. First thing I did when I rolled into town was get a copy of yesterday's paper. This is Wednesday's paper. Went on a kind of a goose chase for that. After I dropped my stuff off at my dad's. Of course, my dad lives in Cadillac, and as much as I was super excited about all the cool stuff that was going on this 50th anniversary weekend, if my dad hadn't been there, it would just be a little more empty. It was great to hang out. He talked me into staying another day. Yeah, as you can see, we had a great time. All smiles out in the woods at the pond. So yeah, getting into town. I see this. Just little hints of the Kiss takeover. Uh, on the heels of Heydays that was celebrated the previous weekend, I do believe. This giant atrium with a huge banner just telling everybody that something special's coming. I cruised down Mitchell Street, crossed Mason, and saw a recreation of the classic Kiss Boulevard sign, as you can see here. Now this, the special edition of the Cadillac News for Thursday. This was the subject of the goose chase. I was texting back and forth with my buddy Don. Uh, he had asked me to snag him a copy if I could, and man, I think it was probably 10 or 11 attempts before I went back to the closest gas station, right there at that junction, right at 55, as I head to my dad's. If I had only gone there first, I could have saved a lot of time and gas. But it was fun. Everybody needs a little goose chase once in a while. Here's one of the window displays with one of the original flyers. Some snapshots. Nothing major, but cool nonetheless. This is the display they had inside the sweet shop. I was a little bummed out getting to the sweet shop, thinking that I was going to be ahead of the game, getting there on Thursday, and they ran out of ice cream. They had a special. Oh yeah, they had Cadillac Rock City ice cream, and it was sold out by the time I got there. So I got a nice caramel apple, and I like a good honey crisp, especially with a bunch of added sugar. This stopped by the Wexford Museum just to check in and see what was already in store. Here we see some stuff that was apparently done for the 40th by some of the grade schoolers. A couple pieces of illegal tender, dollar bills with Paul and Peter's faces on them. Law officials praise audience at Kiss concert. You can zoom in on some of these, they're worth a look. If you can't, reach out to me. I'm happy to send any of these photos or scans, any of this ephemera that catches your eye. Let me know. Here's this is the good one. Answers to the most asked Kiss questions, a little fun, facetious column that Jim Neff wrote. Moving on into Friday, who should I see on the front page of the news? Kiss Army has arrived, and it's my Flintoid friends, Johnny and Laurie Spakidis. Uh, Johnny always has a way of stumbling ass backward into some cool Kiss luck. Always great to see him. We caught up and had a nice chat out in the courtyard during the Mr. Speed show. Actually, during the opener's set, we'll have more about that later. But yeah, a couple slides of Friday's paper just to kind of keep the chronology in check here. Another little itinerary in Friday's paper of all the goings on. Here's a cool front page of the sports section showing off the new jerseys and helmets for this season. Kiss inspired, Destroyer inspired. So Friday, speaking of Don, it was kind of a surprise. I didn't expect him to make the trip, but he talked his goodly wife into it, and they decided to come up for the day on a windy moment at the monument. Can't remember who that is in this photo helping us brandish the tablecloth. I wanted to get a shot with that. I'm going to start the walkthrough with a kind of a panorama of the gym.
Your guys, what do you think? On the record.
Everybody look up behind you. All right.
Here we see me having a little confab with Thaddeus Zilka, author of Unmasked. Really cool book. We'll get more into that. There's right to left is Thad and me, with his back to the camera back there. Chris all the way from Memphis. There's Don from Detroit, and on the left is Xander from Kiss Army Things, all the way from Indiana. It's good to see those guys. He and Daphne made the trek. The first to sign the tablecloth, Mr. Neff. I got him just under Eric there. There you can see, in this slide, you can see the pamphlet he had sent me with a attached guitar pick. He autographed the pamphlet. It's a nice little thank you for, I don't know why he'd be thanking me. He gave me the honor of appearing on the pod. Those of you who saw the episode with him, this was the result of that. Or I should say a follow-up to that. He sent me a little postcard reproduction of the helicopter flyers. Cool little postcard. I should have grabbed more of those. I should have grabbed more of a lot of stuff, but I'm not that kind of guy. I'm actually pleasantly surprised that I took as many photos of this stuff as I did. Here we see also autographed there in the gym. Rich Kosak, Mr. Speed, put his John Hancock on the tablecloth. Later in the recap, there's a picture me and Powie will go over. Me and 3 out of 4 members of Mr. Speed hoisting the tablecloth. Here's a little cheer huddle with Mr. Speed.
Let's ride, 1, 2, 3, let's ride!
Yeah! And from the gym, we moved on to the game. Here I am in the bleachers. I don't know if I was yelling or singing. They were playing Kiss music over the PA. I was probably singing Rock and Roll All Night or Detroit Rock City or whatever they had going on. It was a minor quibble that they didn't have too many songs in the playlist. But, you know, just the big hits. I guess that's to be expected. As you may note in the photo credit, lovely young lady asked if she could take my pics, you know, with me brandishing my Kiss wristband, my I was there button, etc. But yeah, she was shooting for M Live, so I made it to the papers, kids. Beautiful hair on that guy. Here's a shot of the processional marching band coming off the field. Would that be the recessional? I'm not sure. Hey band, nice Kiss shirts. Those would be a cool collectible shirt to have. I hadn't really thought about that until this moment. This was Jim Neff being presented with the key to the city of Cadillac. Some would say it's a long time coming, but awesome just the same. Man, Jim's just a great guy. After the game, rendezvoused at the gate with Xander and Daphne, and they were pretty bushed and headed back to crash. But I decided to go to the Clam Lake Brewing Company and Clam Lake Beer Company, whichever as it were. I've got the sticker, as you see here, for Party Every Day Hazy IPA. That was my favorite of the two. There's also a Rock and Roll All Night Blonde Lager. Blondes aren't really my speed when it comes to beer, but it was all right. And met a couple of guys. I think they were from Macomb. They were from Detroit area somewhere. They were from somewhere from the burbs. A couple of guys. I wish I could remember their names. They were really cool. Uh, just swapping Kiss stories. I did that with a couple of folks at the bar. Uh, there was one fella again whose name escapes me, but After those two Detroit guys left, yeah, this other cat was the only one with a Kiss shirt besides me, so I introduced myself. I do remember that he was from California. We swapped a couple stories. That was fun. And yeah, that was the end of my homecoming Friday in Cadillac. Moving into Saturday, here we can see the weekend edition of the paper for October 11th through the 13th. Rock and roll all night. Little pic of the drone show. There's going to be some pics of the drone show in the recap that Powie and I do. Kiss Army marches through Cadillac. There's a picture there in the paper. Lon Reddy, more on him later. Bill Grice, Bill and Lon up there in the top pick, and Rich Edwards and Catherine Sugg in the bottom photo. It was great to just kind of cross paths with these folks off and on throughout the weekend. First thing I did Saturday morning was head to the bookstore, meet up with Thad for his book signing. His wife, Peg, took this photo. It's great to meet her, too. She's really cool. Uh, the only photo displaying me in my Kiss socks. There's me and Thad in the key to the city. My demon shirt. Man, I love that shirt. Get yours at kissonline.com. That's not a plug for kissonline.com. But I will advise that you go and get Thad's book. I'm still looking forward to cracking into it, but it looks like a great piece of work, and I can't wait to read it. Also, while I was there at the bookstore, I got to meet Dale Myers. Here's Dale's autograph on the tablecloth. WATT, 12:40 a.m. Yeah, that was the first time I met him. I'd meet him a couple more times. More on that later. After the book signing, ran into Xander and Daphne again on the street briefly, and I believe we all headed to the Wexford County Historical Museum once again. Here's me, really excited about this revisit because there were to be even more bits of ephemera from 75, courtesy of Rich. Here's Rich with one of Peter's drumsticks and I believe an unused ticket, if I remember correctly, he said. Yeah, it was like an untorn ticket. Zoom in on that. That's pretty cool. Uh, Rich had some really cool stuff, which we're about to see here. Rich Edwards is unique in the fact that he only collects Cadillac specific Kiss merch. He was in junior high at the time. A couple of his makeup diagrams that were passed out to the art department and various volunteers instructing people how to paint. There's Jean's and there's Peter's and there's the both of them in a case with a couple original flyers. Down below you can make out the tops of some promo 8x10s. Now here's Lon Reddy. It was really fun to talk to Lon. He lived a couple of blocks downwind of the stadium. And that comes into play because he tells the story of riding his bike home and all the flyers that they dumped out of the helicopter were blowing toward his house. And he gathered up a stack of about 350 of them, I guess. He said all the rest, all the ones that were dirty or grass stained, he plastered over the walls of his house, or of his bedroom, rather. To close out my visit to the Wexford Museum and Rich Edwards exhibit, hey man, nice Kiss shirt. This one says 76 Kiss class. And I'm curious how many of these were printed, who's got them, if that's the only surviving shirt. I should reach out to Rich and get some answers on that. From the museum, I remember stepping out and talking to Bill Barnett, number 88. Did not get Bill on the tablecloth, but he is on Rick's postcard. We will get to that later. Left the Wexford and made our way back to the high school for the screening. I didn't take any pics, but I did get this cool little bit of swag. It's just like a little miniature vinyl record heralding the Kiss Cadillac 50. Thought that was pretty cool. They were handing those out. I left the screening, ran into Mary and her husband Rich in the parking lot. Didn't get a pic, didn't get an autograph on the tablecloth. Once again, Rick Howard has Mary's autograph and Bill's. So that's cool. A football player and a cheerleader. Hope you dig it, Rick. It definitely was a lot of fun to put that together for you. Took a little siesta and got ready for the Mr. Speed show. Here's my stub. It was funny. I went separately. I had a feeling that my folks were gonna poop out before the end of the night. And my camera, honestly, it takes some crappy pics. But I did take this shot of Sam the Serpent. Actually, I wonder if Mr. Speed named their serpent something else besides Sam. But here's a shot of Sam. And here's a shot of Shane Smith, the demon, with Sam. It was a really cool evening. Rich was pretty emotional, and in the best possible way, of course. Really grateful, for Mr. Speed's return. It's a pretty high honor, not just to play the 40th, but the 50th. Plenty of shouts out uh, to Mary and Bill, some of the other attendees, alums, to Jim. Dale Meyer's favorite Kiss song is Strutter. That's the one that he recorded, and I was standing next to those guys, next to Jim and Dale, when they did Strutter and when they played Deuce, and it was cool to see those guys kind of rocking out. All in all, it was a pretty rockin' show. Quite a different vibe from 10 years ago. Of course, with Rich being the only constant member, Mr. Speed's basically a different band. Production was great, and this time around, check out the cool swag they had. Rich was pretty excited about these bubblegum cards, set of 5 cards, and I got this groovy keychain. Kind of reminded me of room service, little hotel kind of keychain with some talisman like little gewgaws all over it. Yeah, pretty cool. I never got a Kiss balloon. I got a Kiss streamer, a couple of bits of Kiss confetti over the years, but never got a balloon. So here I am with Mr. Speed making up for it, I suppose. The band was kind enough to invite a bunch of us to an after party. We met up at the Evergreen Resorts hotel bar. It was very appropriately named Curly's, as you can see. The party was in full swing by the time I got there. I had a nice conversation with Julie and Eric, and I briefly chatted with Rich Hattery, the Eric Carr of Mr. Speed. Um, actually had a kind of a nice sit down with him earlier in the day, talk about drumming and tribute bands and all that. Fido fun fact, Rich Hattery used to play in Four Horsemen, the Metallica tribute that Big Medicine opened for, I guess that was last summer. It'd been a lot of years since Rich has played with them, I guess, but yeah, small world. Boy, it was a long day. The next day was just more family time than anything. I poked around. I wanted to get some coffee, some Kiss coffee, and the coffee roaster place, was closed. They closed at 2. They closed by the time I got there. But I was able to get some of the Kiss popcorn, as you can see here. The most important objective was to get that postcard to the post office. Well, as you can see here, I had to settle for taking a picture of the postcard in front of the Cadillac post office because Monday was Columbus Day. So there's that. I might as well wrap up this little slideshow insert with the video that we sent Rick when I ran into Sander and Daphne. I'll leave you with that. Play hard, play fair, nobody hurt, and stay tuned for Cadillac 50 Part 2.
Hey, Rick, what's going on, man?
Hey,
we wish you were here.
We wish you were here. It's all for you, demon in spirit.
That's right. We're in Cadillac, but hey, you're here with us in spirit, man. Rock on.
We love you, buddy.
Hey,
man, nice Kiss shirt.
It's the Remco. Yeah.